You guys, the tea I'm about to spill is literally boiling hot. Justin Baldoni just dropped a nuclear bomb on Hollywood with a $400 million lawsuit against Blake Lively, and oh my god, what I discovered in these court documents is absolutely shocking. We're not just talking about another celebrity feud, this is about to expose one of the biggest power plays in Hollywood history. Before we dive into this piping hot tea, do your girl a favor and smash that subscribe button real quick. Listen, I've spent days reading through 179 pages of legal documents so you don't have to, and my coffee bill is getting scary. Plus, you know you want to be here for part 2 of this mess because trust me, this story is just getting started. Okay, now let's get into this drama because oh my god. So here's what's happening. Justin Baldoni, along with his production company Wayfarer and several others, just dropped this bombshell lawsuit in New York federal court. They're not just suing Blake, they're also going after Ryan Reynolds and Blake's publicist Leslie Sloan. We're talking about claims of extortion, defamation, and breach of contract, and that's just scratching the surface. Let me break down this 179-page complaint for you, because what's inside is absolutely wild. According to Justin and Wayfarer, Blake used threats and manipulation to basically hijack their film. And when things didn't go her way with the public, she allegedly created this whole narrative about being harassed just to save her own reputation. You know what's really fascinating? The lawsuit claims that after enduring what they call mistreatment for over a year and a half, Justin stayed quiet just to help the film succeed. But apparently, when Blake's image took a hit, she decided to fabricate these harassment claims against Justin and Wayfarer instead of taking responsibility for her own actions in promoting the movie. Let's talk about these text messages because they are absolutely explosive. There's this whole situation with Blake's dragons. That's what she called Ryan Reynolds, and get this, Taylor Swift. According to the lawsuit, they would show up at meetings to basically intimidate Justin into doing what Blake wanted. There's literally a text where Blake brags about having these powerful celebrities as her dragons who could make things difficult for anyone who crossed her. And guys, this is where things get really wild. Remember that whole premiere drama? Well, according to the lawsuit, Justin and his entire family were literally sent to the basement of the building when Blake and the rest of the cast arrived. They had to be completely separated, like we're talking security escorts and everything. Can you imagine being the director of a film and being treated like you're not even supposed to exist at your own movie premiere? But let's back up a bit because what happened during production is even more shocking. According to the lawsuit, Blake started taking control of everything from day one. She wasn't just giving notes on the script, she was completely rewriting scenes. There's this whole situation with the rooftop scene that's particularly interesting. Blake actually went on record giving credit to Ryan Reynolds for writing it, which apparently even alarmed Sony. Wayfarer claims they had no idea about this until they saw her interview. Here's something that'll blow your mind. The lawsuit claims Blake never even read It Ends With Us before trying to take over the production. Yet she was making all these demands about how scenes should be shot, how the story should be told, and even trying to direct while she was acting. There are actual text messages where producers are freaking out saying things like, "She's going to end up co-directing this film." And let's talk about that intimacy coordinator situation because this is where the story gets really complicated. Blake made it seem like there wasn't one on set, right? Well, according to the lawsuit, Justin had actually arranged for a female intimacy coordinator before production even began. But here's the twist. Blake allegedly refused to meet with the coordinator during pre-production and insisted on handling all discussions about intimate scenes directly with Justin, usually at her home with Ryan Reynolds present. Now let's talk about this birth scene controversy, because what Blake claimed and what the lawsuit says are two completely different stories. Remember when Blake said she was mostly nude, with just a small piece of fabric covering her? Well, according to the lawsuit, that's completely false. They say she was wearing black briefs, a pregnancy suit covering her midsection, and a hospital gown. They even say they have film footage proving the set wasn't chaotic like she claimed. And guys, this is where it gets really interesting. The lawsuit talks about how Blake would actually break character during scenes and then later accuse Justin of doing exactly what she was doing. There's this wild moment during a romance montage where Blake wouldn't stop talking about how she and Ryan Reynolds talk and talk and talk while they're supposed to be filming an intimate scene. When Justin tried to direct her back into character, she started making jokes about plastic surgery and spray tan smells. Like, what? But here's what's really shocking. After the strikes, Blake came back with this list of demands that basically gave her complete control over the film. Justin was so worried about his reputation that he literally sent an email to his team saying, I'm waving the white flag. He gave in to 98% of what she wanted because he felt trapped. The email literally says, "By now, we all know what she is capable of." And you want to hear something wild? The lawsuit claims that even though Justin's cut of the film tested better with audiences, they were forced to go with Blake's version because she threatened that neither she nor any of the cast would promote the film otherwise. She even allegedly said Colleen Hoover wouldn't promote it unless they used her cut. Talk about using your power, right? Now let's dive into this whole PR mess because this is where things get really messy. According to the lawsuit, Blake's publicist Leslie Sloan and Justin's crisis manager Melissa Nathan had this agreement on August 8, 2024, that they'd work together before talking to the media about any sensitive topics. But apparently, Leslie completely ignored this agreement and went straight to the Daily Mail, planting stories that made Justin look bad while trying to save Blake's reputation. But here's where it gets even crazier. There's this whole subplot involving Justin's former publicist, Stephanie Jones, and trust me, this tea is scalding. So Stephanie had this company called Jones Work, and Jennifer Abel was working under her as Justin's main PR person. They had this massive falling out, and when Jennifer left, she had to give back her work phone. Now, according to the lawsuit, Stephanie saw all these private messages on that phone and allegedly used them to craft this whole narrative with Blake's team. The lawsuit literally suggests that Stephanie went to Blake's team with what they call ammunition sufficient to destroy Baldoni, Wayfarer, and Abel in one fell swoop. They're saying she basically handed over all these private communications that could be sliced and diced to create this false narrative about Justin. Why? Apparently for revenge because they stopped working with her. And get this, the lawsuit claims this was all part of some master plan. When Blake was getting backlash for how she promoted the movie, instead of owning up to it, they're saying she used these messages and Stephanie's help to create this whole story about Justin being the bad guy. It was basically a character assassination plot, according to the lawsuit. So, here's the thing, guys. This lawsuit isn't just about money or creative control. The final part of this complaint literally says that Blake used her power to steal a movie from its director and production studio, then held them hostage with incessant demands and threats. They're saying she completely missed the heart and soul of both the movie and the book, focusing more on glamour and promoting her own brands instead of centering survivors' voices. And when people started calling her out on it, instead of taking responsibility, she allegedly made one final demand, that Justin and his team basically fall on their swords for her, apologizing for things they say they never did, knowing it would kill their future prospects in Hollywood. When they refused, that's when the gloves really came off. What's wild is that Justin's team is basically saying they didn't even have to plant negative stories about Blake because she was doing enough damage on her own with how she was promoting the movie. But Blake apparently couldn't accept that her own actions led to the backlash, so she created this whole narrative about being victimized. You know what's really shocking in all of this? The fact that Colleen Hoover, who wrote It Ends With Us, watched her book being completely transformed by someone who allegedly never even read it. The lawsuit suggests she was maybe just starstruck by Blake Lively, Taylor Swift, and Ryan Reynolds, and that's why she went along with everything. This whole situation is far from over, guys. We've got multiple lawsuits pending, promises of websites full of evidence coming soon, and probably tons more drama we haven't even heard about yet. The real question isn't just who's going to win these lawsuits, it's about how this is going to change Hollywood power dynamics forever. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Who do you believe in all of this? And what do you think this means for future book adaptations in Hollywood? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates on this developing story because, trust me, this is just the beginning.